Hi, why is it important for everyone to experience loss and to stand up after it? Well, this was one of the questions asked in the question paper of Language and Literature for 10th grade students in the year 2014. Well, it is important for everyone to experience loss and to stand up after it in order to be strong in life and in order to get on in life. One needs to stay strong no matter how much it hurts inside. Staying strong is the only way to survive on the face of this earth. Moreover, one needs to learn to accept things and let go and not cling to something that they cannot have. One should understand that the past is gone and it will never come back. In other words, we should learn to get on in life no matter what we have lost or how much grief we have suffered. In other words, we can say that loss is a universal fact in life, and this bitter truth or this universal fact is very clearly illustrated through one of the poems prescribed for 10th grade students that we are going to study right now, and that is the Ball poem written by an American poet, John Berryman. In this poem, the poet John Berryman, that is in the Ball poem, he describes the grief of a boy over the loss of his ball. With that loss, he senses his first responsibility in a materialistic world. We learn from this poem that whom you love and your worldly possessions will not be with you forever. The poem shows how all through your life you will be forced to do things that you do not like or that you do not love, and on the contrary, you will have to give up the things that you really love. But despite this, you have to learn to stand up in life. Well, with this background or with this being said, let's dig deeper into the poem and let's try to understand this poem line by line and word by word. Let's get going. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. See, the poem, as I said, is about a little boy. For the first time in his young life, he is learning what it is like to experience the grief at the loss of a much loved possession. Now, if we think in our context about ourselves, a ball is nothing. It is something of trivial importance. It's not something of very vital importance, but to the little boy, it was a valued possession. So the boy loses his ball. Many critics are of the opinion, they say that the ball here is symbolic of the sweet memories of his childhood. And I think there is nothing wrong in accepting it. It is a symbolic expression in this poem. What is the boy now? What is the boy going to do? Or what is the condition of the boy who has lost his ball? That means the boy has lost his ball. What is he to do? What is he going to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. Now the ball is seen merrily bouncing and going down the street, and then it is out of sight. It is not seen. As I said, to us the ball is of a very vital importance. It is something very small. It is of minor consequence, but to the little boy it was a valued possession, and that is why the poet here, he deters himself, he stops himself from saying that, oh, there are other balls. There is no use to say that there are other balls, because that particular ball must have some emotional connection with that little boy. So the ball could not be replaced. The ball had been with him, must have been with him for a long time, and it was it was linked to the memories of the days when he played with it. All these things can be speculated, from this context, the boy who has lost his ball. So the boy's ball personifies his young days and happy innocence, and that is the reason there is no use to say, oh, there are other balls, you will get other balls. There is no use of buying other balls. Then, as we read further, an ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. Now, the boy is very sad. He is grief stricken because the ball has been lost. The ball that he loved the most has been lost. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. The boy is grief stricken as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down. How is he standing? He stands stiff and trembling while he's staring at his ball. He knows that it cannot be, he cannot get it back. So he stands rigid, trembling, staring down. All his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless. Okay, so the boy is very much troubled at the loss of his ball and he plunges into grief. He's just standing and staring. He is upset as he looks at his lost ball, the gloomy water, because he cannot find the ball. He's deeply affected by the loss of his ball. But here also, it leads to a realization that those moments would not come back. The boy is not going to get back his ball. So all his young days into the harbor, he stands all his young days and he recollects that this is the place my ball has been lost, my very beloved ball that I used to play with. So his ball went. I would not intrude on him. The poet doesn't want to intrude. The poet doesn't want to disturb him. A dime, another ball is worthless. Now the poet doesn't offer him money to buy another ball because that would be worthless, because that particular ball had some connection with this little boy, as I have already mentioned in my previous explanation. So the poet doesn't feel it useful to offer another ball or to buy him another ball. Now let's proceed further. Now he senses his first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy, and no one buys the ball back. Money is external. Now if you ponder over these lines, I think you can draw great many lessons from this from these lines. He senses his first responsibility. Now the boy is upset. Although he is upset when he looks into the gloomy water because he cannot find the ball, this is when he gets his first responsibility. The poet suggests that from the loss of the ball, the boy is learning what it means to lose something in a world of possessions, where he will lose things, will buy some more to replace the ones lost. He will buy different things, but would never be able to buy back the thing that he has lost. So in this poem, the boy's ball personifies his young days and happy innocence. All these things clearly reveal. So balls will be, people will take balls. That means people will buy. Balls will be lost always, little boy, and no one buys a ball back. That means what you have lost, you are not going to get it back. Money is external. That means money cannot buy the same emotional, connection that you had with what you loved. So the boy understands about the responsibility, as the loss is immaterial. Money is external. It cannot buy memories, nor can it replace the things that we love. So I think everyone must have experienced this bitter truth at some moment or other. I personally have experienced it. Well, that is completely a different thing. Let's stick to the point and let's proceed. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes this epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. Well, the poet suggests here that from the loss of the ball, the boy is learning how to stand up in a world of possessions. The boy is learning what it means to lose something. He is learning behind his desperate eyes. That means he is accepting this bitter truth that he is not going to get his ball back. The poet says that knowing that every man has to stand up after such losses, we cannot just go on recollecting those old memories, and the life cannot be stopped. The life has to go on. We have to learn to accept, things. So the boy too will learn how to stand up and leave the losses behind, as he would have as he would have understood the true meaning and nature of loss. So he is learning the epistemology of loss. Epistemology means all about loss, the study and nature of loss. It is the word epistemology has come from a Greek word. So he is learning the all about loss, how to stand up after it. Every man must one day know. That means each and every person on the face of this earth has to learn this bitter truth, and most know many days how to stand up. Many men, or almost everyone, they learn at some point or other. So I think you must have understood what it is, what the poet wants to convey through this poem, how to get on in life, how to move on in life. So this poem gives a very practical lesson how to get on in life. Well, something about the poetic devices used in the poem. First of all, this poem is written in blank verse. There is no regular rhyming scheme for this poem. Moreover, it also contains some symbolism. As I said, the ball symbolizes the boy's young and innocent days. And then you can also think about repetition, like what, and alliteration, like what. You can either consider it repetition or alliteration. Then we have buy a ball back. This is a beautiful example of alliteration. B and B. So be mindful, or be I would recommend you to think about the poetic devices also used in this poem. I'm sure you must have got a thorough explanation of this poem. Yet if you have any question, feel free to ask me in the comment section. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.